Welcome to Sync Up, a show about OneDrive. We are your hosts, Ankita and Jason Moore. I'm Ankita, Product Manager on the OneDrive team.
And I'm Jason Moore, Director of Program Management for OneDrive. This show will take you behind the scenes of OneDrive, shedding light on how OneDrive connects you to all your files in Microsoft 365 so you can share and work together from anywhere while protecting your work from accidental loss and malicious attacks.
Today, we are excited to have on this show Ihcene Cheriet.
So don't go away. We got another great show for you today.
Well, I think the last year has visibly and viscerally illustrated that innovation is not something that governments can leave to others. If the world is changing, then what governments are doing will also need to change. It's an ongoing process, and we have to get better at that.
Hello. My name's Olivia Neal, and I'm the director of Microsoft's new Public Sector Centre of Expertise. Having spent almost all of my career in government, I've seen firsthand how digital approaches can transform the services that public sector organisations offer and the way that people work. I've been talking to public sector leaders from around the world to explore their experiences of making change happen, and how digital approaches and technology can support them in their transformation journeys.
I think we have kind of a moral imperative to lead when we're trying to make big culture change.
Our work is to make it very easy for people to use, and if they have the need, they will use it. It's my best gift when someone says it's super easy. It's the best motivation that we can have as a public servant with tech.
What I believe very strongly is that OneZone is one of the components of ultimate best user experience. Interactions become faster, simpler, more seamless.
There is no efficient government without digital government. There is no digital government without interoperability. And there is no interoperability without privacy.
To keep up to date with all things digital transformation, and to better prepare yourself and the organisations you work with for the future, be sure to listen and subscribe to Public Sector Future wherever you get your podcasts. And visit the Microsoft Public Sector Centre of Expertise at www.ps.microsoft.com.
Collaboration is a critical part of the virtual work, and at Microsoft and with our customers, we've seen firsthand that the way people work together has fundamentally changed over the past year. More and more people are using Microsoft 365 applications like Teams, OneDrive, and SharePoint to connect with internal team members across their organizations and with external colleagues more than ever before. That's why the team here, the OneDrive team, has been gathering feedback and capturing data to understand how you collaborate so we can make the right investments to make the sharing options more intuitive across Microsoft 365 and make collaboration easier for you. And today we are going to discuss all these investments and future roadmap with our dear guest.
Well, Ankita, our guest today is Ihcene Cheriet, a program manager on OneDrive focusing on improving our sharing experience and making it truly, truly awesome for everyone out there. We're going to dive into a whole bunch of what that means, what Ihcene has been working on, and some of the cool innovations that have happened and are happening. But it's interesting to kind of go back a couple of years. You know, we introduced this new sharing experience and dialogue into M365, and I've adopted it across all of those products. So if you're in Word, Excel, PowerPoint, if you're in Teams, if you're in Windows, if you're on the Mac, anywhere you are, anywhere you go, and you're working with files, you're able to share them in the same way and have a consistent and coherent experience. And that was pretty awesome. And it was great because we know it landed. Customers, such as many of you listening, started sharing even more and getting more value out of that and telling us about that. And we know that everyone else noticed it because maybe other products started implementing very similar experiences. But that was a couple of years ago. And we really want to talk about today about some of the new sharing experiences that are happening. I thought maybe to start that, Ihcene, you could tell us a little bit about why did we plan to update the experience? What were either learnings or discoveries or kind of eureka moments that said, hey, we should go do more here?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me, Jason and Ankita. It's a pleasure to be here. As you said, the way that people work together has fundamentally changed. And therefore, we had to really adapt our tooling and really assess our research to make sure that we're building the right sets of tools for this new year. And this year, we're really using an incremental, customer-driven approach for rolling out updates to improve the sharing experience across all Microsoft 365 and Office applications for all platforms. We'll be making those changes incrementally just to learn more from you, to be able to get that feedback, improving the experience as we go to ensure that we're making it easier for you to collaborate with your colleagues in ways that works best for you. And we're calling this the Year of Sharing. A big part of this change is to improve the usability of our current share dialogue, which appears in more than 40 areas of Microsoft 365 and is accessible 400 million times a month. We listened to the feedback continuously, and based on that research, we discovered 5 key areas we wanted to address. One is making it easier to change link permissions for viewing, commenting, and editing files. Another one is seamless sharing with external colleagues, having a clear at-glance view of people you've shared a file with, sharing files directly via Office apps, and faster ways to share to Teams without having to switch apps.
That's awesome. This is a great set of things. I'm especially excited to hear about that. We've learned so much. It's used so much, the sharing experience. It's so critical to so many people's businesses and organizations that learning from that and building to the next level and next tier on that, to me, is incredibly cool. And I'm really excited to see what that'll go with. Ankita?
True that. I second. I love the fact that we are embarking on a customer-driven approach to roll out all these amazing updates. So let's dig a little deeper into these updates. So, Ihcene, what can you tell us about quick permissions, which I know is already rolling out or is already available for our customers? But for folks who have not tried it yet, please give us a little background.
Of course. So quick permissions are indeed available all across platforms. So you'll see them on web, desktop, and mobile. Make sure you check them out. They're awesome. And they're a way to have people change their permissions very quickly inside the share dialogue. So it's a more discoverable and intuitive way for our customers to change their sharing permissions. In the main view of the share dialogue, you'll be able to select from a drop-down between edit or view, and before sharing this file to someone. We call it quick permissions for a reason. We want you to save more time and not have to go all the way into link settings in order to share your file with the right permissions.
And I believe we additionally released link settings to this experience recently. What's that about?
Yeah, so we're making link settings more discoverable. We want to make it easier for you to find what you're looking for. And inside the same quick permissions dropdown, you'll be able to select the link settings option, which will lead you into this view of the dialog when you can easily change your link type, sharing permissions, or find features like block download and open in review mode. This provides you more granular sharing control so that you can easily change your settings.
So listening to these updates, I feel like we focused a lot on refreshing the design, that experience that people perceive in sharing, oriented around this notion of making it more intuitive. Are there other ways that we're planning to kind of continue to evolve these features?
Yes, absolutely. And that's the purpose of the Year of Sharing, is that we want to continuously iterate and improve on our experiences to make it the best experience possible. We're going to revamp our copy link feature that is very much adored by our customers. And currently, when you select the copy link button inside the share dialog, you see a confirmation window that displays an auto-generated link so that you can copy and share it with your colleagues and team. However, in order to create a new link, you'd have to start over the whole experience, and that's not very easy or intuitive. So we've changed this flow to make it a lot more user-friendly. Instead of a copy link button, you'll see now an entire footer of the share dialog that serves as its own section for copy link, making it a lot more visible for our users. And we know it's an important feature for you. And this is where you'll be able to easily change the settings and permissions of the link and copy it to share it with others. If you need to update the permissions post-creation, you'll also be able to directly change them from the link confirmation page as well.
So that was great to know. Ihcene, in the first query that Jason had, you mentioned that one of the key areas that you guys discovered was having a clear at-a-glance view of people you've shared a file with. Now I know as a part of the Year of Sharing announcement, we did announce a couple of features apart from these design upgrades that would be around improving efficiency and access to settings, making sure people have more control over their content and easier access to these controls. So what are the features that you can talk to in this sphere?
Yeah, so I have to say, Shared With is one of my absolute favorite features and the one I'm the most excited about. This is a brand new functionality that we've added to the bottom of the share dialog to know exactly who has access and how many people have access to your file. This has been one of the biggest asks that we received from customers, and we're so happy to roll this out soon. Shared With will give you an at-a-glance view of everyone you've given access to your shared files and folders. You'll be able to view links, groups, and people you've shared with. You'll be able to see on hover their names and their email addresses. And once you've shared a file via the share dialog, you'll also receive a visual confirmation of who you've just sent it to. Shared With is also the new entry point for Manage Access. Think of Shared With as the preview of Manage Access experience where it shows you the summary. And then if you need to learn more or perform any actions, you can jump right into Manage Access for even more control.
I know Managed Access has, for us, been a bit of a back office for sharing. It's kind of, the back room where all the other details are kept, and I can go and see links that I've previously shared and recopy those again and get them again. Can you explain a little bit how we're changing things there then in relation with Shared With?
Yeah, definitely. So as part of the Year of Sharing, we'll be updating completely our Managed Access experience to make it more efficient and easily accessible. We're essentially revamping the whole UI and designs and layout to make it just simpler for this one. And by default, you'll be able to see the list of people you've granted access to this file. Like I mentioned in the Shared With, that is more of a preview. Now you can go deeper and get those controls that you've been looking for as an admin. You can also view the groups who have access, as well as the various types of links you might have shared with, and from different applications like Teams, OneDrive, SharePoint, or Office. There's definitely various ways that you can interact with this new Managed Access experience, and you can pick what's best for your needs and scenarios. You can view the permissions for each person directly from the people list. So think of it as a people-centric view where you can search for a person, select a name, and see the access summary describing all the different ways that that person has been granted access via direct access, groups, or links. And from there, you can change their sharing permissions accordingly. So that you have, again, that full granular control. You can revoke all access if you want and stop sharing entirely. There's other ways, like I mentioned, you could have the people-centric view, or if you're more interested in a specific group, you have that ability to drill down into groups or into the link information instead to see exactly where that person belongs to and which links they've shared to their respective sharing permissions. So in a nutshell, we've redesigned completely the share dialog to give you easier access and control inside the Manage Access view and give you more visibility into who has access to your content.
All right. Before I ask my last question on all of this, I'm just trying to keep in head all the different things that are happening, all the new improvements coming to the sharing experience that we plan to roll out. What have we missed? What have we not asked you about? What else is coming there?
Yeah, so there's another feature. The last one, but not least, is our new Share menu dropdown. We're updating the Share button to provide you easy access and various ways to share your files. Soon, when you select Share in OneDrive, SharePoint, or Teams, or even in the Office apps, you'll see a contextual menu with all the options available to you for sharing files or folders with your teammates. The first option is email. That's where you'll email the file directly to one or more recipients. The second one is copy link. copy a link to share with recipients directly. And the third one is Teams, to share the file directly into Teams. We are definitely going to have the ability, once you share a file, you'll have an option to go into manage access that we've mentioned earlier, which will be available for users who have the rights and want additional sharing controls.
Awesome. I'm really excited for all of those to roll out. So that's going to be great. And of course, as you mentioned at the top of the show, we'll be doing that in a way that's incremental across those releases so we can learn about each and every one of them, what works for folks, where do we need to tweak them. We really, truly want to make this next level of sharing special. And I appreciate the team's ardent focus on that. We always like to kind of go a little bit behind the scenes too, Ihcene, and hear a bit about some of the fun things maybe that the team has learned or done or experienced as part of building out some of this functionality and working through these challenges. Do you have anything you want to share with us?
Yes, we love hearing from our customers, and I can't repeat this enough. There's always new use cases we can learn from and improve on. And like I said, we want to continuously improve on our experience. So this feedback is so important and so crucial to us. So we want to say thank you to those who have already shared your feedback, and please keep sharing it with us. It can only help us make this experience even better. Another really cool learning that we've had through those feedback sessions was that even if some of the admins we met with were already comfortable with some of the existing features that we have in the share dialog and how to find various settings inside the share dialog, they felt very positive about this improved sharing experience, as this will ultimately make their lives easier. Having a more intuitive experience only means that they can spend a lot less time educating and explaining these features to their users, and hopefully it's less work for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. And, that's so much of what this is about, is reducing the what we'd call cognitive burden and being able to work with all of these things, especially since people from all walks of life, all manners of roles and jobs and description need to be able to approach this stuff and use it really simply and easily. So I'm very excited about us landing that. All right. Well, we have our last kind of fun question for the group. What's your song of the summer? And Ankita, we're going to start with you.
Mine would be Harry Styles' Watermelon Sugar High.
Oh, that's fun. I like that one. That's a summery song. I get that. Okay, Ihcene, over to you.
If I would have to go back in time, I'd say definitely Sympathy for the Devil. I just love that song from the Rolling Stones.
Ooh.
But if I had to pick a song that's more recent, I would probably go with Summertime Magic from Childish Gambino.
Oh, great picks. Okay, I love both of those. It's okay. I feel like I'm going to go left field. It's very new. It's super hot. It's just the exciting new song of the summer. I think it's going to be playing everywhere. It's the OneDrive Sea Shanty. And if you haven't heard it yet, let me tell you, it's coming soon to a playlist near you. It is some magical work cooked up, written by a member of our team, and it's fantastic. So look forward to that if you haven't heard it yet.
There once was a file shared with me. I have so many, don't you see? How could I ever find them all? That's what OneDrive's for. Oh, sink it down. OneDrive's where your content's found. One day when the
You asked the question just to promote that. We get it.
Yeah, I love it. Go,
What?
Jason.
Me? No, I don't know what you're talking about at all, Ankita. Well, now that I've used up all our time on that, that is it for today. Finally, for our audience, Ihcene, where can people find and learn more about you?
You can follow me on Twitter. So the handle is ICHERIET1. And otherwise on LinkedIn, just look for Ihcene Cheriet, and you should be able to find all of our latest blog posts and interesting stuff.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on Sync Up. It's been a pleasure to have you, Ihcene.
Thank you, Ihcene.
Thank you so much. So happy to be here.
All right. So what's on our roadmap, Ankita?
Yes, so our team has been really hard at work and busy in May, and they've released a lot of features. You can read more about it in the blog, but the main ones are updated file picking experience for Yammer, which is a seamless file experience which is consistent with OneDrive. The immersive reader in OneDrive and SharePoint. So now you can open your documents directly in the immersive reader that you know and love from inside OneDrive and SharePoint. The link settings to quick permissions that Ihcene spoke about is also rolling out. To protect shared files, administrators can now set mandatory expiration period to ensure access doesn't last forever. So now you can expire access for external users and help avoid leaking organizational data by accident. IT admins for macOS, you can now prevent the OneDrive Sync app from uploading certain files to OneDrive and SharePoint. And finally, we have a couple of features for our mobile users, specifically if you work a lot on PDF. So there are a few PDF viewing capabilities. You can jump to a particular page, or you can view an outline, which is basically a clickable table of contents to help people who use OneDrive on iOS and Android to quickly navigate to PDFs. This is now finally. Request files is now available for GCC High and DoD. So for our special segment today, we are going to discuss VUCA.
VUCA. That's interesting. I think I've heard about it with regards to the U.S. Army. Can you refresh my memory a little?
You're pretty close. VUCA is actually an acronym that was developed by the U.S. Army War College right after Cold War, basically to describe the challenges of navigating an unpredictable environment.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. Right. Okay. So it's volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity.
Bang on. So volatility referring to the rapid, unpredictable nature and speed of change. Uncertainty obviously pointing to the unpredictable results and outcomes in day-to-day lives. Complexity defined by the multiple forces, issues, and systems that get impacted. And finally, ambiguity due to the lack of ability to predict future outcomes, which all of us really wish we could, and the unknown unknowns.
Right. So incredibly serious sounding, but I guess we always have some elements of all of this, VUCA in our lives. I guess maybe now more than ever.
That's true. And chances are that your pre-pandemic days had enough VUCA already, but it's not all that bad. Think about it. If you are working on a product that demands innovation, that thrill of experimenting is VUCA. You are a parent, so I'm pretty sure as delightful it was raising your toddlers, it might have also been a challenge. That's VUCA too. So the higher the level of problem solving and creativity, greater the thrill, the unexpected delights, gratification, fulfillment, but that also means higher level of stress and fatigue.
That kind of rings so true. I guess life is ambiguous, and even the smallest actions can have uncertainty and change the outcome. So I guess we can be volatile while the things that we love, maybe whether it's at work or at home, it kind of is a thrilling challenge, even though it's complex or even when it's not complex.
You nailed it. Perfect.
So I'm picturing raising my kids. And I think it all aligns. I'm kind of kidding, but kind of not. And it's interesting to think about how inherent this right now is in our day-to-day lives. Certainly for us, it's been the kids out of school and how will schooling work remotely, and then starting to go back, and what does that look like? COVID has really brought, I guess, a rapid increase to the VUCA of our whole world in unprecedented ways. For me personally, I feel like maybe it's decreasing a little bit now. We're learning more about the virus. We're developing new technologies and structures and changes, compensating for all that. People are getting back to work in a number of places. Parts of society, certainly here in Seattle, we're starting to get a glimpse at post-pandemic life. So that's pretty exciting, right?
It surely is. But we also have to understand that the transition to the post-pandemic life might not be that easy, since it's still a lot of things we don't know. It sounds exciting, it sounds appealing, but we may have to navigate through a lot of VUCA.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I mean, there's so many questions and things that are going to be slightly different, or you're not really sure what should be different or what stage. And I know those things can be quite complicated for everyone. So how do we actually plan around that? What's the preparation to do for those? How do we stay resilient when we're navigating so much VUCA?
I think the first step is right in your question. So you've answered it yourself. It's resilience. Resilience is simply the capacity to recover from a difficult life event. Resilience helps you learn lessons and then helps you also to move forward without getting stuck. Now, obviously, it doesn't come overnight and it's easy to talk about it, but I think even a small shift will help us go a long way. The other thing I feel is restoration. So no one can be best at their work if they are tired, overwhelmed, worried, etc., which we have been a lot for the past year. So we need to take care of ourselves, our physical health, and not only just physical health, but also our mental and emotional needs, even in the smallest of ways. What do you think?
No, I totally agreed. And I think, there's a whole bunch of things to implement and get done. And I would add one more to what you commented on here, which is, being resourceful. If you take a moment to kind of think about what are the resources in your life that can help you feel supported in those transitions, certainly, hopefully in this heading to this post-pandemic world, it can be people around you, your family, your friends, coworkers, maybe something inside of you, some interpersonal strength, organizations that you're part of, whether they're faith groups, or maybe it's your band, it's your, group of folks you get together and do stuff. Maybe it's just consuming some things, listening to podcasts like this, watching TED Talks, or watching Ted Lasso. All of those could be part of it. And I think anything that gets you going and helps you make your plans kind of move forward, and maybe even backup plans, that's probably a big part of being resourceful.
I think that's a great and a very important addition, Jason. So folks listening to us, we have the 3 R's for you as a response to VUCA. It's resilience, restoration, and as Jason rightly pointed out, just being resourceful. We hope this small segment makes your transition to the post-pandemic world a bit more smoother. Thank you again to our guest, Ihcene Cheriet. To learn more about OneDrive and the latest developments, please follow our tech community blog at aka.ms/OneDrive/blog.
Please do send us your questions and feedback. You can reach us on Twitter at OneDrive, @Jasmo, and @Ankita_Kirti21. And definitely visit our show page for links, resources, and more at aka.ms/syncup. That's SYNCUP. Follow the show wherever you get your podcasts. If you enjoy SyncUp, help us help others by sharing this episode and telling them about the show. And if you're curious about other cool shows from Microsoft, go to aka.ms/Microsoft/podcasts. There's something for everyone.
Thank you for listening to SyncUp, a show about OneDrive. We are your hosts, Ankita Kirti and Jason Moore. We'll catch up with you next month.